Tonight, the Wesco League Championship will be decided as two talented teams vie for the title. The Cascade Bruins come from the South Division after emerging victorious in last Tuesday's mini playoff against Kamiak and Mariner. The Snohomish Panthers are here from the North Division, looking to beat the team who handed them their only defeat this season. Cascade and Snohomish clash in this climactic contest next on the TCI Game of the Week.
It's playoff time in high school football, and tonight we've got one of the big ones. Those old rivals, the Cascade Bruins and the Snohomish Panthers, go at it for the second time this season here on the Panthers' home court, field, whatever you want to call it. It's Veterans Memorial Stadium. Hi, everyone. I'm Rod Belcher, ready to call the play-by-play action tonight. And with me, as usual, as our expert analyst, is a son of Snohomish yet, Kurt Marsh. And Kurt, we do expect big things out of both these teams tonight.
Well, it's a different ballgame than it was at the beginning of the season.
Oh, yeah.
They both know, they're both very confident going into this game. Both of them know the strengths of the other teams. It's a matter of execution tonight and who makes the least amount of mistakes.
Okay, well, you mentioned it's different than the start of the season, and in the opening game, Cascade really blew out Snohomish 43-6. But Snohomish ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown and then kind of fell apart. Since then, Snohomish has just made great strides. The Cascade Bruins did very well all through the season with one overtime loss against their record. Terry Ennis is the visiting coach tonight, and you all know what great success he's had. And in the kind of a mini playoff deal on Tuesday night, the Bruins beat Kamiak 28-12, and then came away with a win over Mariner 21-6. That's a mighty good showing for the Cascade Bruins. They came through when it counted, Kurt.
Well, it sure is. They scored in their first 4 possessions against Kamiak, who played them very well a little earlier in the year. In turn of that, they had only 3 days to practice for this ball game. However, I don't think that that'll come much into effect.
There you see the Cascade Bruins. They'll be wearing the white jerseys tonight with the dark red pants. Both these teams have basically the same color scheme, so the Bruins will be in the white uniforms tonight. And let's hear more from their veteran coach, Terry Ennis. And this pre-recorded interview, he talks here about preparing for Snohomish in just 3 days since those mini playoffs.
I think it's enough time to maybe practice, but as far as the emotional preparation, I think having just such a short time between a very exciting playoff on Tuesday, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of emotion went into that. Probably the toughest thing for Saturday is to be ready and be as emotional as we were on Tuesday. So we've had enough time to practice. Don't know that we've had enough time to be emotionally prepared for something this important. Well, we played Snohomish, first game of the season. It's like it was a year ago. There's so much that's gone on. So it's like a brand new ball game. And we, even though we had some big scoring plays, we didn't really control the line of scrimmage. And so I think the game will be a much closer game tonight because both teams have had 8 games or 7 or 8 games under their belt. Line of scrimmage is probably going to dictate the outcome. Well, as we're coming to the conclusion to the 96 season, the way things have been so fast-paced, we haven't really had a time to look back on things. I know Tuesday I felt it was our best performance, and it's really nice to see the kids coming together, playing as a team at the end of the season. I think we've had some key injuries, and the adjustments that kids have made to keep our team concept alive and our success, working strong as a team, that's probably been the best part of things as we wind down our season.
And the season is winding down, but it's not going to be over after tonight, Kurt. These teams are playing for the right to go on to greater things, and maybe even one of them could wind up in the King Bowl about 4 weeks away.
Both teams go on to the state playoffs. However, the benefit of winning this ball game is the winner plays at home and plays the number 3 team from the South Puget Sound League. The loser goes on the road to play the number 2 team from the Narrows. So there is a lot on the line.
So theoretically, the winner tonight gets a little easier thing, at least on paper.
Correct.
As they move ahead. Okay, let's turn our attention to the homestanding Snohomish Panthers under head coach Mark Perry in his second year after succeeding the legendary Dick Armstrong. And their most recent game was just a regular season scheduled game as they beat Mount Vernon 22-0. And the way that Darren Bunick has been coming on late in the season has just been sensational. 147 yards in that game after he went something like 280 in a previous game, Kurt.
Darren Bunick is one of the toughest rushers that Snohomish has ever had. He also has rushed for an average of 24 times a ball game since the game with Cascade. Against Cascade, he only carried the ball 14 more. I think we can count on seeing him much more tonight. Defensively, Snohomish has quite a task in front of them. They've got to stop not only quick pitch outside to Butler, but ward up the middle, and now Pugmire because he's got an arm, and they're considering all 3 of those things from this very potent Cascade offense.
Well, Mark Perry knows all those things that you've just mentioned, and he talked about some of those things too in our pre-recorded interview with Mark. He talks here as he starts about improving, the way his squad has improved since that first game loss. Mark?
Well, since we lost with Cascade in the opening game of the season, we've made some drastic improvements in our offensive line play, our defensive line play. Our kids have come together. They've set some new goals, and the defensive secondaries come together. We've been able to produce some offense, and now since that game, we've won 7 in a row. Well, for us to beat Cascade in this championship game, we've got to do a couple of different things. Number one, we've got to do the things that we're good at. We've got to control the ball like always. We can't worry about their speed. We've got to make sure that we shut them down on the inside and play good position on the outside. We've got to make sure that our kids control the ball offensively and don't put it in their hands very many times. We're proud of the fact that they've improved so much in 1 year. If you go back to last year and what they're able to accomplish this year, we're proud of the fact that they've improved on a weekly basis. We lose the first game 43-6. And since then, we've been able to win a lot of games. We've had to come back in a couple of those games. We've had to hold on and win in the fourth quarter in those games. I think the effort that our kids are willing to put out on the field, we can definitely be proud of. And I guess the biggest thing, though, is their improvements that they've been able to make throughout the year.
Well, improvement is the key there. Snohomish definitely has done it. By the way, the weather's great for tonight. It's a typical November evening. It's quite cool. It's probably going to be in the 40s during the game, but it's absolutely dry, and this artificial turf field should be in good shape, Kurt.
It is. It's in great shape. It's 2 years old now, and it's real worn down and ready to go. And the thing I was thinking about as I was watching that interview from Mark Perry is that not only are these guys great coaches with great records, but these 2 men are probably a couple of the best at helping boys become men. They teach the disciplines not only of the tactical teamwork, but also of how to compete and how to never give up.
That's the way it should be, and that's the way it is, and we'll see how it is on the football field tonight when the Panthers and the Bruins go at it. Kurt and I will be up in the booth in just a moment, ready to bring you the play-by-play action. Right now, let's take this break on TCI's championship game of the week.
You'd never buy a car part by part.
Turbocharged V8 engine.
That would be expensive. So why pay for premium movie channels individually?
Seats.
Now that TCI is your cable provider, you can get TCI Choice Theaters packages. Each package features the new channels, Stars, and Encore.
Oh, a vanity mirror.
Plus additional premium movie channels like HBO. And the more you add, the more you save. TCI Choice Theaters. It's our way of saying welcome. Call now and save on premium movie channels with Choice Theaters packaging.
Well, there's a good look at the greensward as the Snohomish Panthers and Cascade Bruins get set to go at it here tonight at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Cascade will kick off to open the game. So the Panthers, who ran back the opening kickoff the first time these teams met, ran it back for a TD, will get a chance to do it again. And let's take a look and see who's doing what to whom. The kickoff man is Chris Smoke for Cascade, number 4. Kickoff is off to the side. It's going to be picked up at the 19-yard line. And a good run back. There he goes again. Oh, my. Almost got going all the way. Number 45, Jesse Podol. P-O-D-O-L-L, he spells that name. Got a heck of a good run back. Kurt, where are they going to start from? Almost midfield.
You remember the first time they met this year, the first play of the ball game was a run back for a touchdown by Jeremy Mertz. Snohomish again starting off big, but this is a ball game of maintaining the whole game. We're going to see in this first quarter who will dominate the evening, I believe.
Here's the handoff. Carrying the ball is Bunick, and they stack him up right at the line of scrimmage. Bunick wears number 38. In the backfield with him that time was Kidwell, number 41. Here are the officials. Jim Carter's the referee. The others are Mark Jones, Steve Jensen, and Phil McDonald. Veterans all, Kurt.
Well, we've seen them. Phil McDonald was around back when I was playing. That was, fortunately, after face masks.
Okay, here we go with a 2nd and 9. And a good drive for almost the first down by the ball carrier. That was number 32.
I think they've got Bunick wearing number 32.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
We're off with the numbers right off the bat here. Merry Christmas. Well, coaches will do that. Casey Lundvall made the stop, and he did not quite get the first down. He's about a half a yard short.
Right there you see Krause at quarterback. He's not a tall kid, and that gives him problems sometimes when he's trying to throw the ball.
He's only about 5'9". Hands off to Bunick again. Bunick off the left side. Gets the first down. Not much more, though. But I'm pretty sure he got past that forward stick. It's good to know that he's wearing number 32 rather than the 38 that we had him down for, Kurt.
Well, we're going to see Bunick a lot tonight, and talking with both staffs before the ball game. Snohomish felt that they didn't give Bunick the ball enough in the first game. They gave him 14 carries in the first game. Then during the rest of the season, he averaged over 24 carries a ball game. Has really led this team. He's well over 1,000 yards for the year and one of the leading rushers of Snohomish all time.
Line of scrimmage is now the Cascade 41. Snohomish on a good drive. Here's a handoff. First man through. Bunick. Now he's going to break into the open and may score. He's down to the 10. They catch him from behind, but he's cleared down to the 5-yard line. J.J. Butler finally ran him down with that speed of J.J.'s. That was the only thing that prevented the TD.
Well, that's what Snohomish does well. They run that trap up the middle, a 36-yard run by Bunick, who's not known for running away from open field tacklers. He's a punishing runner who runs bent over, got enough quickness to get in the open field, but once he gets in the open field, he likes to punish those who attempt to attack. Great block by Nick Simmons on the linebacker.
Well, that offensive line has to be doing the job in a day like play like that. There's a double wing formation this time, and the ball carrier is down to about the 3-yard line. It was Bunick again, running to the right side. And there you see number 32 getting up off the artificial turf. That was a first down play. And let's see, the spot is right at the 3 and almost in midfield in relation to the sidelines. Here's a handoff to number 36 with the ball, and that's another one we don't have the number for. What's happened here? I had 26 for Mertz. Do you suppose that was Mertz?
We're going to have to
36.
We're going to have to earn our money tonight, Rod, which little it is.
Do you have the late roster was given to us by the
Actually,
coach?
I've got Bunick at 38. We've got him at 32 now. I know they were going to give Kidwell the ball a little bit more tonight.
Well,
at halfback, it may have been.
Kidwell's still wearing number 41. He's lining up as a right wing back this time. Bunick is right behind the quarterback. And here's a pitch. Carrying the ball's Kidwell, trying to go to the outside. They hit him down at the 1-yard line. Pretty good defensive string out by the Cascade people that time. Brill Loizo, number 9.
We're going to take another look at this. We've got number 41. That's Joe Kidwell, the halfback, coming to the outside. Good pursuit from the outside, but playing his position well was Loizo, maintaining, contain, and then a good open field tackle, holding up the running back until some of the pursuers from the inside could get him. This is going to be a tough yard.
It's actually about a yard and a half away from the goal line.
They've got their kicker on the field. It looks as though they're choosing to go ahead and get some points on the board, make sure they get something out of this drive. Snohomish wants to get on the board early.
Good goal line stand by Cascade.
Excellent. Shows their toughness. They're real proud of their defense. As a matter of fact, Terry thought their defense played as well as they had all year last week in the mini playoff against Kamiak.
There is a full-fledged timeout, and that's the reason you see one of the assistant coaches going out there. There's the Snohomish huddle. Number 71 was Zupan. Now we look at Cascade. For instance, number 79 there was Steve Jans. Number 2 is J.J. Butler. Number 45 is Casey Lundvall, a linebacker who's very active. Well, they're coming out in the kicking formation all right. And the holder is Kraus. The kicker, well, that must be Mertz. It is Mertz, wearing number 26. Okay, he kicks. It's certainly long enough, and it's straight enough. It's good, and it's a 3-point lead, 3-0. Snohomish moves out in front. Cascade hasn't had the ball as yet. Well, it was a good drive, and it was nearly all Bunick.
Excellent drive. Snohomish did what they had talked about. They attacked first off. They got a great return, great yardage on the return, and then they put together a drive, primarily Bunick. There were only 2 plays in that drive in which Bunick did not carry the football, and some good blocking up front. Snohomish has felt like the most improvement they've made all year is in their offensive line and defensive line. Those guys are really playing well together. They're depending on them for this ball game. We're going to see a little bit here of Cascade's wing tee. Both teams play a little wing tee. Cascade has a factor in their wing tee that Snohomish doesn't have, and that is that quick pitch out to J.J. Butler.
Well, Mertz, the all-purpose guy, will be doing the kicking off, and J.J. Butler is the deep receiver in the central position for Cascade. So we'll see what the Bruins can do with their first offensive opportunity. Well, at least we found out that Mertz is wearing his usual number, 26. Time to play, by the way, 8 minutes and 6 seconds in the first quarter. This one's going to be a bouncer picked up on the 10-yard line. Return man comes up to 20, may have fumbled the ball. It was Trent Holloman, but if he did fumble, he retained possession. There you see number 6 going back off the field, will not be in there.
Good tackle by Ben Emel, number 42, who plays tight end on offense. His father, Ken Emel, was a star here at Snohomish High School years ago, played for the Washington State Cougars, and is here tonight to watch his son play.
Okay, we got Billy Ward, 44, and Butler. Here's the handoff to Butler. Butler at the right side, breaks through into the secondary, down the sideline. It's a race for the goal line. He's got a blocker. Cuts on the other way. He's going to make it. 5-yard line, touchdown, J.J. Butler. One play, 77 yards from the 23-yard line. That was the line of scrimmage.
Cascade is so difficult to stop because he got so many weapons, and number 1 on that weapons list is J.J. Butler. That wasn't the quick pitch to the outside, but that was the outside off-tackle play when they hand Butler the ball. Great blocking up front by Ward and their offensive line for that score.
Now number 4, Smoke, is going to try the extra point. His team's already ahead 6-3, trying to make it 7. Holder is Kirkpatrick. Whoops. Ball's placed down, it's blocked. So only 6 points. You never know when one of those missed extra points is going to come back and haunt a team.
Well, we're going to see this play again, and you think there's going to be a big scoring game because of plays like this. The fake up the middle, the handoff to J.J. Butler to the outside. You see Bissell out front blocking. Then you see the Snohomish tackler, number 21. That is Randematter coming up and giving his outside shoulder away. Once you give up that outside to someone like Butler, there's no one else out there. If he gets around you, he's gone, and that's what we see right there. A couple of Panthers are pursuing, but none are quick enough to catch. That was Jesse Podel trying to catch up with him there, and Butler just ran away from everyone.
And it was the wide receiver, Joe Gaffney, number 80, who was kind of running a brush block clearance ahead of him.
Well, we've seen those guys do that all year, and when you got running backs like Butler and Holloman who can break the big one, you need to be disciplined enough offensively to have wide receivers who are willing to give up their bodies downfield.
Now the deep return man set up is number 21, Rand Matter. Also, Podol is on the far side of the field, and Joe Kidwell on the near side is a potential return man. Smoke is the kicker. 6-3 with 7:44 to go. Okay, it's a high kick down the middle, going to be taken by Kidwell at the 9. Veers to the outside, 2 players get him, down him short of the 15-yard line. Excellent downfield coverage. Tim Grant, number 5, Jake Allen, number 60, were there for Cascade.
Good job that time at Cascade maintaining their lanes. Everyone's staying in the same position they started in at the 40-yard line all the way down the field. A well-disciplined team needs to do that. You never know where that return is coming. Snohomish saw a little something in the Mariner film that gave them the feeling they could do some outside returns because Cascade was bunching up but not on that play.
Mertz and Bunick are the remaining backs on this first down play. In motion goes Kidwell. Handoff second man on a cross buck. Mertz breaking into the secondary. Beautiful gain. Gets about 15 yards. Clear up past the 30 with J.J. Butler from a deep secondary having to make the stop along with little Jose Prieto from the middle of the line, or line backing position actually.
Mertz is about as close to Snohomish's J.J. Butler as they will get. Mertz has a lot of speed, has some breakaway ability, and he's a good mix-up for the tandem of Mertz and Bunick. Bunick, the one who will run over folks. Mertz, that guy with the speed to get to the outside, break the line.
The gain was actually 16 yards, and of course the first down is at the 33-yard line. Motion Kidwell again, and something went wrong on the play there. I believe the offense moved, and that's a no-play situation. Here's Jim Carter with the signal. False start. That'll cost Snohomish 5. Put it back to the 28 and make it 1st and 15.
Well, I'm sure Snohomish coaches and everyone listening is aware of this, but I've got to say it anyway. In a game like this, playing at this caliber of teams, you cannot stop yourselves. You're only going to get so many chances to move the football. To make mental mistakes at this stage of the season is just unacceptable.
Again, Kidwell goes in motion. And the handoff, no, it's a fake and a pass down the middle, overshot everybody, way too long. Probably the receiver was number 97, Chris Soren, who had a heck of a game when we did game against Seaholm here several weeks back. There you see number 89, Brad Talley, wide receiver, going into the game with play instructions. Okay, here's the 2nd and 15 play about to unfold. Pitch out to the side. Bunick tries to cut, makes a nice cut, powers his way through tackling, fumbled the ball. And Cascade recovered. He fumbled it forward about 5 yards, and coming up with a ball, looks like J.J. Butler with the ball. Yep. And Cascade stops another promising drive.
Well, we see Bunick get the quick pitch to the outside. Bunick now with the football. He's the type of runner that is going to struggle for every single yard he can get. That time we see Holloman come up as Bunick is standing up straight trying to run over a would-be tackler. Holloman comes up, gets his helmet right on the football, and Butler there at the right place at the right time to pick it up, giving Cascade excellent field position and great momentum with his defensive stand following that long play.
There was a Cascade player shaken up during the play, number 21, Jose Prieto, and he's being assisted a little bit off the field, but mainly going off under his own power. He's not involved with the offense, so he doesn't need to be in there right now. All right, here's the first down play coming up. Double wing formation after the shift. Now Butler in motion. And the fake to Butler, and going up the middle is Billy Ward, the fullback on that typical Cascade fullback power trap, and boy, he's got big yardage, first down, and more than that.
Right here's an illustration of what I was talking about earlier, that Cascade has so many weapons. Here they have Butler coming across the backfield. You're thinking about that last play. They hand up the middle to Ward, who follows that big offensive line, who are playing excellent this season, and Ward is a good runner himself. 15 yards on that play, and that's weapon number 2.
Emil made the tackle First and 10 at the 25-yard line. Motion, Butler. Here's his slanting carry with Tim Grant going for the touchdown, but there's a flag. There is a flag. I wouldn't be surprised that there might have been 2 men moving at the snap.
Either that or right there at the point of attack, you're always wondering about a holding call, but definitely it's on Cascade. Everyone's coming back. Getting back to the weapons that Cascade has is the third one they have this year. They don't have the real great, as you see, it was holding at the point of attack. The real great player who is being sought after by all the colleges as they had in the past with some players years past, Butler probably being the top of that list, but they have got so many guys that can hurt you. And this year what they have is they've got a quarterback who can throw. Guys, a pitcher in baseball does very well, is being scouted. That's Pugmire, also is able to hit the receivers. He's really got an arm this year, and that gives Cascade a weapon they haven't had in the past.
Which they may be able to use right here with a 1st and 20 situation back at the 35 after the 10-yard holding penalty. Again, they set up in a double wing. Here goes Butler in motion. And back to pass, sure enough, Pugmire got a man, right through the hands of Billy Ward, a little bit behind him, still very catchable.
Catchable ball. Ward was just running towards the sideline. It was thrown back towards the middle of the field. Difficult to turn around and catch that ball, however, not impossible. There was a breakdown in coverage of Snohomish. They talked a little bit about last week running 5 defensive backs because they were so concerned with Pugmire's ability to throw. And what that does is it's got Snohomish getting away from their game plan, what they played all year, and trying to think of things to stop Cascade, and that pulls you out of sync, and that's why it's so important they have those 3 attacks.
That's Butler in motion. And the handoff to up the middle it goes to Billy Ward. Oh, nope, as we look again, may have been Trent Holloman carrying. It was number 6, Holloman. And he got pretty good yardage, but has got a long way to go still.
A little bit of counteraction in the backfield. They got a trap going up front. The guy's blocking down. Holloman sees the seam, which is huge. Bunick, who is their big offensive threat, is also their leader on defense, or one of them makes a stop.
This is 3rd down and 15 yards to go. Pugmire. Complete. Gaffney, and he won't be near the 1st down. He gets down to the 25, which was the starting point for the series of downs, actually, before the penalty and the other plays.
Joe Gaffney is one of the favorite receivers in Pugmire. We've seen him in games past make some pretty great catches in tough situations. That time, just good coverage by Podol, who was right on him, made a good open field tackle, not giving up his outside shoulder, but hemming him in.
Well, it's 4th down, and they're going to go for it. They have 4th and 10 at the 25. Pugmire. Man in the open. He drops the ball at the 10-yard line. Was it Tim Grant? Oh, and is he disgusted with himself?
Well, that's the other guy. Gaffney and Grant are the 2 favorite receivers of Rob Pugmire. As you see him back here, excellent protection. He's got all the time in the world to throw. Grant has come out of the backfield and no one is on him. He's got way too much time to think about how he's going to catch that ball, how he better not drop it because no one's around and you let it get the best of it.
So the ball is turned over to the Snohomish Panthers, who trail 6-3, 4:37 to go in the 1st quarter. Krause at quarterback. Sends Mertz in motion, hands off on a cross buck by Kidwell, and he gets a couple of yards and then is cracked back by good gang tackling.
Give some credit to Snohomish defense on that series, although there were a couple of drop passes when they needed to. They made some good tackles. That time, the Snohomish offensive line just got beat up front. That Cascade defensive line is not the kind of line that's going to penetrate on you, but they are going to run some stunts that are flat down the line, and they're able to, they're big and strong enough, have good enough technique, they can stand you up and make those kind of stops.
You've got Bunick 32 and Mertz 26 behind Krause. The fake, the give to Kidwell on kind of almost a reverse, and he gets knocked down after gaining 3 more yards up to about the 30.
I said they were going to try and run Kidwell a little bit more tonight. I am surprised that Bunick is not carrying the ball more in this situation.
Corey Ackles was the prime tackler in the last play. And you've got third and reasonably long here, a little more than 5 yards to go for the first. They actually have to go about a half yard past the 35 to make their first down. Kraus backs up, wants to pass. Got a man out the sideline, first down catch, goes to the 45. And now in the open all of a sudden. He got away from the tacklers, and it's a Snohomish touchdown, unless there's something wrong with the play. And Rand Matter wound up with the ball. Number 21. That's a 70-yard touchdown play. I sure hope we get a chance to see that one again. Because it looked like they had the receiver stopped along the sidelines.
Well, Kraus was under pressure by Prieto, that the smallish, he's very small. Prieto only coming in at 5'5", 140. Not a great threat to knock a pass down, but he had pressure, was able to get the ball out to Matter. Matter made the rest of it on his own.
Shooting for the 10th point here on the extra point kick by Mertz, and it's good. So it is 10-6 in favor of Snohomish.
We're going to see that again, Rod. Pretty good protection, although here we'll see from the left side of your screen, Jose Prieto closing and actually gets a hit on Kraus afterwards, but Rand Matter has it right there. Loizo tries to make a stop. We saw Cascade a little earlier in the year as a couple other players come up and try to tackle him. We saw that Cascade, like I said, a little earlier in the year was having some trouble with their form tackle, and it was a concern to Innes. That time there were 3 folks who had a shot at Rand Matter. Rand Matter made them all miss, and he gets the reward.
And in a way, they kind of knocked each other off the point of the tackle. So we now have very quick changes in the situation.
Well, there's a difference in both teams. Cascade has had the one very close ball game. They also had a very close ball game with Mariner. So they have the experience of Kamiak's 3 times for overtime. Snohomish ball games all year have been close. So both these teams know how to compete. They've been in this situation before. That's what makes watching games like this so exciting at the end of the season. These teams are both at the top of their game, and makes matters really exciting.
Well, the missed extra point takes on a little more significance. Also, a couple of those drop passes take on more significance in the last possession by Cascade. Snohomish really capitalized after holding on downs and moving down the field, boom, boom, especially with a long 70-yarder.
As well, and the longer that Snohomish stays in this ball game, the tougher and tougher it is going to be for Cascade to put them out.
Here's Jeremy Mertz to kick off. Drives it down the field, picked up by Holloman at the 15. Looks for wedge blocking up the middle. Can't get away from a single tackle by Emil. Ben Emil.
Emil again. As I mentioned before, his father Ken, I saw him down here before the ball game with another ex-player, Rob Treese, who played at WSU. And I said to him, I said, this Emil on the roster, he's not related to you, is he? He said, it's my son. This is a guy who played 2 years after I did, so it started making me think of how old I am. But he plays just like his father, great on special teams. He was a starter last year as a sophomore.
Well, Cascade ate up a lot of yards the last 2 possessions. Let's see what they do here. Hand off to J.J. Butler, going to the outside, cutting into a hole, gets about 5 yards, maybe a little more than that. And there may have been a face mask tackle on the play as well.
We're going to see this again. You can see how Butler, how tough he is to tackle. He makes a couple guys miss. Here he comes across the backfield again. Good blocking up front. But now Butler gets approached by, that's Kraus out there at the corner, who Butler puts a little fake on him. He's able to get away from him, but closing from the inside was number 50. That's Torn Duggar, the great nose guard, 6'4", 230. He's the heart and soul of that defense. However, you can't play defense when you're making some mistakes.
Well, there's the face mask, and it's a 15-yarder from the spot of the foul, which gives a penalty first down to Cascade at the Cascade 44-yard line. That's Grant lining up as the wingback left. He's number 5. Butler shifts to wingback right. Now comes in motion the other way. And the handoff goes to, well, what happened there? I lost it. Pugmire. He kept it himself finally. A lot of faking going on. Pugmire went up with it, and let's see how far he got. Just a couple of yards. He got from the 44 to the 46.
The last one to be faked out was Pugmire himself, as someone didn't get the ball, but he did what all smart quarterbacks do. When someone misses the handoff, you know that everyone else on the team is blocking for a certain area. You just hit the hole that your running back was supposed to go through.
Loizo, who just came into the game, is the flanker to the left. And here, pitch goes the other side to Trent Holloman, running hard and close to a first down, but I don't think he quite got to that forward stick.
Holloman got good speed also to the outside, shows some power at the end of that run. There you see him. He's got a lot of marks on his helmet. Terry Ennis very good about handing out awards that are not necessarily individual. There's some individual awards that go on those helmets, but most of those are for team efforts.
Duggar was the tackler on the last play. It's 3rd and 1. Pugmire gives it to Ward, fullback up the middle, first down. Short yardage, but he only had a yard to go. So he got the first down at the Snohomish 44, it looks like. I haven't completely spotted the ball. Call it the 45.
The last one on the pile to tackle was Eric Raber. He's a 5'10", 190-pound junior for Snohomish.
Now you've got Trent Holloman lining up in the fullback spot. Butler motion. Hand off Butler. Good yardage again off that right side power play. Looks like he got about 7 yards or so.
Well, you know that there's a huge hole there when you can see an offensive lineman pull through and have no one on either side of him. The running back following Bissell, who's coming around there as we watch Terry Ennis, who's constructing this drive from his vantage point in the sidelines. But again, Bissell, great job blocking downfield. Got another pancake block on that one.
The actual gain was just a shade more than 5 yards, so call it 2nd and 4. It's a tight formation with wings to either side. And up the middle goes the fullback, Holloman. He has replaced Ward at lining up in that fullback spot. Holloman carries it for the first down at about the 32.
Well, that gives a speed advantage, at least, to Cascade up the middle. I don't know if Ward is hurt or if this is a plan to put Holloman in at fullback, but it certainly adds some threat in terms of breaking the long one for Cascade.
Holloman had a good night in the mini playoffs on Tuesday. Okay, Pugmire waiting for the snap here. And what do we got? End of the quarter. That's what it was. All right, end of the first quarter. Interesting ball game with Snohomish leading 10-6 thanks to a 70-yard pass play for the score that put them in the lead. That's the end of the quarter. Back in just a moment with the second period on TCI's Game of the Week. As the second quarter starts, 1st and 10 Bruins at the 33-yard line of Snohomish. Pugmire rolling out for a pass, being chased and down for a big sack loss of about 10 yards by Eric Raber, number 33.
Raber just coming from the backside on an all-out blitz from his linebacker position. Came without being blocked at all, and Pugmire, who was rolling away from the blitz. That's the toughest time for a quarterback. They can't see that guy coming. Before he turned around and looked, Raber, was right on it.
Just into the second quarter, 10-6 Snohomish. Now a 2nd and 20 coming up for Cascade. There's the misdirection play to Tim Grant. Grant slanting on the left side, gets about 3-4 yards. Grant's another one with good speed, Kurt, when he gets a chance to get into the open field.
When he gets a chance to play, they've got so many players. Grant is one of those guys who is kind of the third guy they roll in and out of there at running back. Also a good receiver, as we've mentioned before.
Okay, up come the Bruins with a 2nd down and 16. And a timeout here. I wonder if Pugmire figured he was too close to the end of the play clock situation. whatever. He called a timeout, and when play resumes, 10:37 to play, second quarter. And it will be a 3rd and 16 for Cascade.
We talked a little bit about Torrin Duggar, the nose guard for Snohomish. He's got a big task tonight. They've kind of talked to him about he's responsible for shutting down that middle attack for Cascade, that trap up the middle. He's been very good this year. They've let him go after the quarterback's feet at 6'4" and over 200 pounds. He's still extremely quick and able to get into that backfield and cause some problems. We haven't seen him able to do that yet tonight. Remember, he's holding down that middle well.
Okay, the timeout is over. Once they clear the trainers off the field and so forth. A wide out to the right side is Gaffney for Cascade. Buckmeyer straight back. Throws out to the side. Got a man. Again, an almost catch. It looked like Tim Grant had a shot at that one. But I don't know. He might not have even touched it.
Pretty good coverage on that play that time by Todd Brabowski. We'll see it again. Here's Pugmire going back. We've talked about his good arm. He lays it out there for Grant. Brabowski just trying to stay even, is beaten to the outside, but makes an effort to get his hand. It might have been the hand up that caused Grant to miss that, or it might have just been the old alligator arm disease of not quite being ready to stretch out and lay out for that.
Well, what do you know? It's 4th down, and they're going to go for it from the 38-yard line. 4th and 16. And here's Pugmire again. He's being chased from the backside. Throws on the run. A beautiful catch. If he makes it, he did at the 5-yard line. Sensational diving catch of a heck of a throw under pressure. It was Tim Grant who just missed the previous one.
Well, we saw incredible pressure coming from the backside by Joe Kidwell. Here's Pugmire rolling out to the outside. Number 97, Soren, is in excellent position downfield to catch this, make the interception. But you see right there at the corner of your screen, slipped, fell on the ground, leaving number 5, Grant, wide open for a 34-yard reception. 1st
and goal. It's inside the 5-yard line. And here's the handoff. Carrying the, whoops, it's not going to count anyway. This is I don't know if it's a penalty or somebody called timeout. Flag went down, so it's a penalty. All right, illegal procedure against the offensive team. That's one of those mistakes that Terry Ennis is not going to look on with much favor. Now he's talking to Pugmire at the sideline, you see right there. So he's getting what he wants done with straight talk direct to his quarterback. Pugmire comes back to the huddle. The ball is back to the 9.5-yard line now, still 1st down with goal to go. And another hold-up here. That's about, I'm not aware. By the way, the clock shows 10:16 remaining in the second period. Is this a full?
You're talking to the Snohomish coaches on the sideline resolving some issue. Mark Perry over there in his 2nd year doing an excellent job of coaching. I was involved with the committee that had to look at the 5 finalists when they came through for that coaching job. And Mark Perry was the only guy who had been from Snohomish, and a lot of people assumed that was why he got the job. But he just rose to the top throughout the whole process. It was very fair. He's just the kind of guy you want your kids learning the game of football under, also the game of life.
Holloman's still running out of the fullback spot. He's the remaining back right behind quarterback Pugmire. 7 goal, 9.5. Roll out left. Pugmire wants to throw. Diving attempt. No good. And that was Joe Gaffney. It is ruled a catch. Well, that got him down to the original line of scrimmage where they started the series. Yeah, Gaffney came up with it.
He caught it on the slide. As I'm watching, I was out there a little earlier. The field was a little wet with my shoes, and I thought maybe the traction of the turf shoes would make it better. But it does look like that field is just as slippery as I thought it was.
It's 2nd down at the 4.5-yard line. There you see Grant resetting. Here's the quick toss to the side. Butler's going to score. So this has been a game of leapfrog. One team scores, the other team comes back and goes ahead. At the moment, it's going to be 12-10 with the extra point attempt coming. The option is with the coach whether he wants to try for 1 or 2 here.
That quick pitch to Butler to the outside is just so difficult to stop. You're always worried about the long run, him breaking it, but when they throw it in on short yardage, you're willing to give up 4 or 5 yards in the open field, but the blocking on that is so good. It's up to one guy on the outside to make that tackle, and if anybody gets in his face, it's all over Butler with his speed.
Well, they will go for the 1 point because Chris Smoke, number 4, the kicking specialist, is in. Unless, of course, it would be a fake off of this. Holder is Scott Kirkpatrick. Now another stoppage here.
Took too much time to get those guys on the field.
No, delay of game cost him 5 yards for the extra point kick. Well, that's still well within Smoke's range. Of course, he had one blocked earlier, so you never know. 86, Kirkpatrick is the holder.
The further away you get from the goalpost, the lower trajectory you need to have on your kick in order to get it long enough to get through there. So I don't know at this close range if that really has anything to do with it. Snohomish is getting good penetration.
And
looked like a Cascade guy moved.
Boy, they're having all kinds of trouble. Missed one conversion attempt. Now we get 2 penalties, delay of game and a procedure call. This is going to make it truly a field goal distance kick for the 1 point.
Well, I've been up there when you've got guys that are rushing hard. Snohomish has an all-out rush right up the middle. They're just putting a guy on the nose and bowling over that center as hard as he can, and having a couple guys follow up the middle to try and get penetration blocked. That as a center and guards, when you're trying to defend yourself against that, standing still, they get a run at you. You're trying to move as quickly at that snap of the ball as you can, and sometimes you anticipate too much.
Shane Seth, number 53, is the snapper. This one's placed down, kick. Procedure was very good this time, but it's no good. It went a little bit to the left of the upright. Just missed that upright stick on the left, so 2 failures on conversion attempts by Smoke. One on a block, one on just a miss.
Well, those come into play. If this is a close ball game, we're going to see the touchdown again. Here's Pugmire just simply rolling out and flipping it out to Butler. There's number 66 for Cascade. That's Moore out front. Really, he just had one guy to block. Butler walked in untouched. But as I was saying, those extra points, it's now just a 2-point ball game, which makes it a field goal to win it. In a tough game like this, every point counts. You can never give up any yardage, but especially when you have a chance to score, you can't give up 1 point.
Smoke will be kicking off here. Grant Matter is the deep man in the middle. We've got Podol, 45, back there as a potential receiver. This one is going to be a driving kick, picked up on the 13-yard line by Matter. And another great return, and he's on his way, 50. They run him down, or do they? They haven't got him yet. He's still in bounds. Touchdown! Amazing. Absolutely amazing. 87 yards. He took it right on the 13-yard line and scooted through the first line of defense on the coverage. Got down the sideline. They couldn't catch him on the angle attempt, and he stayed in bounds barely all the way. There you see him. Grant Matter, he's had a couple of big games, big runs, one with a pass for a touchdown down the sideline. Now this one on the kickoff.
Well, we talked about Cascade's many weapons. Snohomish is showing us they've got a few as well, with Matter, Mertz, and as well as Bunick tonight.
And here we get a timeout before the extra point kick, if it's going to be a kick. Well, they're going to put their running backs back in. Maybe they'll go for 2 here. It's at the moment 16 to 12. Let's see, a 2-pointer would make it. Well, I don't know if it's that much of an advantage or not on the 2 points here, Kurt.
Well, if you're looking as score-wise, it only gives them a 6-point lead rather than a 5-point lead. It's still 2 field goals or a touchdown to tie, touchdown, extra point to go ahead. But it may be a momentum thing. Cascade missed 2 extra points. Maybe he's trying to catch up on a couple extra points. You never know what's going through a coach's mind in this situation. And he knows his players best. This seems like it may be, as you see Mark Perry out there talking to him.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say Rand Matter is no little kid. He's 6'1" and 205 pounds. And, well, he's certainly shown some speed on a couple of plays tonight. Okay, they do come up in a running formation, or passing, of course. Bunick is in there as the fullback. It's a wing-back set. And a quick toss to Bunick, running hard. He's through for the 2-point conversion. Well, that makes it, sure enough, 18-12, a 6-point margin with 9:06 to play in the second quarter.
We're going to see the touchdown again here. Matter on the kickoff return. The ball bounces a little bit, delays a little bit, lets those guys get into their blocks. I'm talking about the return team. Matter just looking to the field, cuts back a little bit, then back to the original return, which was a right return. Good block right there. I couldn't see who it was, but then it's all Matter down the sideline. He outruns a couple of players. Here's Holloman coming up, who has a lot of speed, just mistimes his hit, and then Gaffney chasing him, Matter from behind, tries one valiant effort to catch his feet. Matter does a good job of keeping his feet up. And then, of course, they punch in the 2, which just adds insult to the injury for Cascade, but also gives a lot to the Snohomish team, as we saw Coach Perry out there in the huddle talking to those players. That feeling that you get when the coach looks at you and says, we're going to give you the ball and you're going to block for him, we're counting on you, that seems to motivate some players, and they certainly did on that with Bunick getting 2.
Well, J.J. Butler's back to return this kick by Mertz. There were others there. And it's going to be picked up at the 14-yard line, 20-25. Tim Grant with the return. He gets to about the 30, depending on where they actually put the ball down.
Cascade has now got to counter. They've got lots of time. Of course, they don't have to score before half. This is a game that I think we have seen as coming into this game. I thought in the first quarter we would learn a lot. Either Cascade would run away with it or Snohomish would stay in the ball game, and that it would be a long ball game all the way there.
Here's a quick toss to the outside to Butler, and they string him out, and a short gain. Ben Emil makes another good defensive play for the Panthers.
That was Emil making the tackle, but an excellent job on the outside also by Jesse Podol. Podol keeping his outside arm free, forcing Bissell to take him onto the outside, not letting Butler get that corner, and then from the inside, Emil's able to make the tackle.
1-yard gain. Ball is up to the 31, almost the 32-yard line. Second and fairly long. Billy Ward has been back in the game at fullback for Cascade. And there's that cross buck with Butler carrying. Gets through for a nice little gain, but he's short of the first down. Reaches past the 35 to 38, possibly the 39. Chris Soren on the stop, number 97.
Just a little misdirection play in the backfield to freeze those linebackers, allow the offensive line to get a little more time to get on their angles on their blocks. And then it's just up to Butler to pick the hole. He likes to kid through that hole and then look immediately for the cutback. We've seen him do that many times this year with his speed, cutting across the grain and going for a long gain.
Butler and Grant are the wing backs. Ward is the fullback. And this is Butler with 2 men blocking ahead. Butler struggling, leaning, diving for yardage. Got the first down and some more yards to spare.
Good struggle that time by Butler. Pretty good playing defensively by Snohomish. The corner coming up and taking on the lead blocker. Good support from the inside. However, Cascade doing a good job up front, moving the defensive line backwards, giving Butler enough room to get the first down.
Line of scrimmage now is the 45 of Snohomish. First and 10. 7:15 to play in the half. Fake to him, roll out left. Pugmire throwing to Ward, and he dropped the ball.
Boy, that is it already has come back to haunt the Cascade Bruins. We're going to see this again. They have been 4 drop balls tonight, or 1 just out of the reach of Grant. 3 outright drops. This is another one here by Ward, who's wide open. Pugmire puts the ball right there, right in his hands, not able to bring it in.
Well, the ball comes back to the 45, 2nd and 10. Can't fault Pugmire. His accuracy has been right on most of his attempts tonight. Straight drop back. Throws a high lob, and this time the catch is made, and out of bounds near the 25-yard line, Tim Grant. Okay, Grant's have pluses and minuses tonight, but this is a very good plus, and there was good defense actually on the play.
Well, there you go. We got the key. You got to make it a little tougher for him. Here we see Pugmire coming back. Ben Emel's got good coverage. Grant out of the backfield. You got your linebacker covering a running back out of the backfield. And usually you would think that's an advantage. It is on this play. He gets a little bit past Emel and a long way downfield, a 30-yard gain. 30,
yep. Here's a handoff. Butler tries to find a little seam. Can't get it. Number 33, that's Raber, makes the stop on Butler after a gain of about 4. He didn't quite get to the 20.
Cascade doing exactly what they have to do, and that is control the football, keep it out of the hand of Snohomish, and get this ball down, get into scoring position. They've now gotten down to about the 20-yard line. This is where you say to yourself as an offense, we cannot come away without some points on the board.
Gaffney's a split end to the left. Grant the wing back to the right. Butler now comes in motion. And the rollout being chased. Pugmire stays on. Oh, he can't quite get away from Raber.
Looked like Raber pulled out another arm or something there. Raber had Pugmire again. That blitz from the backside coming right away from his linebacker position. Had him with one arm, then the other, kicked his leg out. We'll see it here on the replay. Pugmire coming back. You will see no one blocks Raber. He runs right through, up the middle, and he's got him. He's struggling. Pugmire's trying to get away. He tries to kick him, and then right at the last second, a third arm comes out and grabs his shoelaces or something. But excellent effort that time by both players. Pugmire just getting the short end of the stick.
Line of scrimmage is now the 31, so they have about 17 yards to go for the first down. Split men to either side. Now Butler in motion. And the handoff goes up to the middle to Billy Ward, who carried. And he gets back to the original point of the possession on this series of downs. Down near the 25, a little bit inside that. Joe Kidwell primarily responsible for the tackle. It's going to be fourth down at the 23 where they finally mark it. And they have to get just inside the 15 to make the first down.
This is a huge play for Cascade. They cannot afford to not come away with points after a great drive like this. However, they're going to take the shot, not go for the field goal, but rather go for the first down.
And I think they took too long again. You know, one of the things that's been interesting, Kurt, and I haven't seen it that much before, Pugmire's going over the sideline to get the play from the head coach, Terry Ennis himself, and it takes sometimes a long time to get him over there and back rather than have the sideline, somebody from the sideline come in.
Yeah, Pugmire has been going back quite a bit. That's why a lot of teams use signals, and now even in the NFL, they've got the coach who can talk to the guy right through his helmet.
Oh, yeah.
But that is taking quite a bit of time, and it's hurt him twice now.
Holloman has replaced Ward at fullback. And again, fake to the motion man. The throw. And he did not hold it. Again, in the hands of the receiver, Trent Holloman. And they're not making the catch tonight consistently. That's Holloman.
We're going to see this again. Pressure right up the middle. They're actually lining up the linebacker. That's number 33, Raber, right at the line of scrimmage. You see him right there in the gap. He comes through, takes on the fullback, but then the fullback is the one going out for a pass, so he can't block him. Raber again puts great pressure on Pugmire. Pugmire still gets off a great throw, just in and out of the hands again of Holloman.
Well, that's why Cascade is behind right now by 6 points. And there's another big drive by Bunick right up the middle for 20 yards or so, maybe more than that.
That's the other reason Cascade is behind, is that Snohomish has been able to come up with the big play. And we came into this ballgame saying Bunick, Bunick, Bunick. However, Bunick hasn't been a huge factor. Right here he shows why he has been all year. He runs out of one tackle, powers through a couple more, carries a tackler about 3 more yards. He's quite a prospect.
49-yard line of Cascade. 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the half. There goes Bunick again with good blocking, and he's got 7 or 8 yards.
again up front, Snohomish High School's offensive line just coming off the ball, gathering that momentum of that defensive stand by the Snohomish Panther defense, getting the ball turned over on downs. And Snohomish, Cascade, who was in such great field position at the 20-yard line, Snohomish has now turned the tables on them.
And this is a carry by Mertz for the first down. Got about 5 or so on the carry. And he reached the 37, possibly the 36. Now they're putting it right on the 37. First and 10 there with 3:35 to play in the half. And the clock still rolling. Goes Bunick. Lundvall got a piece of him that time. 45.
Also in on that tackle was Graham Eklund, the senior.
That's the other way around. That's a hyphenated name. His name is Mike Eklund-Graham. How about that? 3 minutes to go. First half. 18-12. Snohomish, the team with the ball, in the lead.
Names are getting so difficult.
There you see Bunick, 32, lining up directly behind the quarterback. That's Mertz in motion. Fake to the fullback. A keeper by Kraus. Kraus has got good yardage, and he's down inside the 20-yard line, and he fumbled the ball. Cascade may have recovered. Yep, Cascade got it back.
We're going to take a look at it again. Here's Kraus faking to Bunick. Cascade closes on Bunick. Good blocking up front. Kraus has it wide open to the outside. He's got the option to pitch it out to Mertz or to take it himself. Makes one guy miss, and then going for the extra yardage. The ball comes out. It's not clear as to whether it came out as a result of hitting the ground or the tackle. Obviously, the official on the play felt that the ball came out on the tackle. Holloman in the right place to make that recovery. Cascade, turnabout is fair play, stops Snohomish as they were getting in good position as well.
And now Cascade has the long field to go with not much time to work with. It's from the 13-yard line. And excellent carry up off the left side with Tim Grant still with the ball, and he got more yardage. He kept on struggling, and he got past the 25 to the 27 for a first down.
Well, Tim Grant showing his toughness, still maintaining his leg drive as he was being tackled. Snohomish was pawing at the ball a little bit, and instead of going for the tackle, that allowed Grant to get a couple extra yards.
2:15 to play in the half. Line of scrimmage is the 27. First and 10 there. It's in their own territory. That's Butler going in motion. And Holloman gets it. Holloman, short yardage, a heavy hit put on him by Bunick, yeah.
There's Trent Holloman there. He's that was the hardest hit of the ball game. Bunick just coming in through his linebacker position. Holloman coming right up the middle, meets Mr. Bunick in the hole, and Bunick gets the better of him.
About 3 yards on the gain. It's 2nd and 7 at the 30. And the clock coming down to 1.5 minutes to play. Hugman. Well, that time they get him from the front side this time. He was being chased from the backside. The blocker pulled away to block that man, and they came from the other direction and got Butler.
Well, they're very aware of that backside rush. We see number 41. That's Joe Kidwell coming up, and then on the other side of the line to make the stop, that's number 48, and we don't even have him on the roster.
Well,
we can't find him on the roster. The blockers can't find him on the field. However, what it does is it gives you a 3rd and long for Cascade.
3rd down, 17 to go. And 48 seconds and counting. And it's a buck up the middle for 3 or 4 yards. And the clock may run out before the next play, 27. It's going to be 4th down, but maybe Snohomish will call a timeout. Somebody has. Yep, Snohomish calls timeout to stop the clock with 24 seconds remaining. The ball was put up to the 30-yard line. It's going to be fourth and, still nearly 7 yards to go.
Get the ball away and give Snohomish one more shot. Or they figure they may just get a penalty, run the clock down, and then kick it away with leading Snohomish.
Well, Billy Ward is their usual punter, and he is back there in the position to accept the long snap.
Let's go, Panthers! Yeah! We're playing for the league!
Kraus goes back as one receiver. And
look at this! It's respect, baby! Look at this!
The other one is Podol. Ward, the punter.
Let's go!
Nice punt. Backing up a bit is Kraus, takes it on his 35, 40. Down before he can get to the 45.
But he did a smart thing. He ran out of bounds as soon as he could. That leaves 14 seconds on the clock for Snohomish to run one, maybe two plays.
A 35-yard punt, about 8 on the return. And let's see what they do with the 14 seconds. They could play it close to the vest. They do have a 6-point lead.
In the meantime, Coach Jeff Armstrong, the son of Dick Armstrong, came in and let us know that Davey Thompson, number 48, is the player for Snohomish who got that sack a while back.
Well, they're going to pass. Kraus wants to, at least. Being chased. High lob, complete to Mertz. He takes it at the 33. He's down about the 25. Brill Loizo makes the saving tackle. 6 seconds to play. The clock stops. Here it is again.
To the outside, rolling to his left is Kraus. He pump fakes to the outside, throws it back across to Mertz, who has Loizo beaten. The ball is actually thrown a little bit behind Mertz, or that could have been a touchdown, a 32-yard gain. 6 seconds remain. They have time for one, and if it's real quick, 2 plays.
And, of course, they took the full timeout here, which was available to them, the Panthers did. And we'll see what they come up with, well, not that long a distance to go to get to the end zone. 27 yards away. Probably a little long for their field goal kicker. In other words, where the ball is now would be almost a 45-yard kick.
Well, Snohomish has one timeout left, so they can still get a quick play, call timeout, and get that field goal kicker on the field. However, 6 seconds is a short time for one play.
Unick and Mertz are in the running back spots. Wide out to the right side, and I think that's Matter. A 2-touchdown guy, and they're looking toward him. Pump fake, throws down the middle. It's intercepted in the end zone. Well, he's going to run it out. It's Gaffney, and he wants to run it out, but in the high school rules, once it's in the end zone, that's it. And the clock is all zeros. So that's... Yeah, I think the official just gave the signal. That's it for the half. At least the Snohomish kids are all going to the dressing room. Cascade kids are questioning whatever the call was there. And we'll assume that the half is over.
I saw Darianus talking with the officials and gave his kids the sign to get in the locker room, so he seems to be satisfied.
Okay, good enough. Well, that is the half, with Snohomish in a seesaw ball game leading 18-12. Incidentally, we have something coming up here right after this break that should be most interesting for you. At least we think so. It'll be the highlights of our entire season of covering these Wesco games on the TCI Game of the Week. So we'll see you after that. Right now, let's take a break. Then we'll have our highlight film of the year. It's the Wesco AAA Championship game. Excuse me, matching the Cascade Bruins and Snohomish Panthers. The homestanding Panthers leading 18-12. Well, Kurt, some people might think, seeing that score, if they just joined us, that one team has scored 3 touchdowns and the other team scored 2 and nobody's converting. That's not quite the way it's going. The 6-point margin is kind of interesting. And we'll see how those points were scored right now. Kurt?
Well, in the first quarter, we right away, Snohomish had a good kickoff return and good field position, which ended in a 20-yard field goal by Mertz. It gave him a 3-0 lead. Cascade came right back on the next play and ran one play, 77 yards by Butler. Snohomish came in and blocked the PAT, which may turn out to be a big play. A 70-yard pass was the next scoring opportunity for Snohomish, which is, for many Snohomish fans, an unbelievable thing, a long pass, but they've done quite a bit of that this year. Kraus to Matter. Matter broke about 3 or 4 tackles and then scored, Mertz adding the extra point. Again, in the second quarter, Cascade came right back, drove the ball all the way down the field. A 5-yard run by Butler on the quick pitch to the outside. And then they had a few miscues, which has hurt Cascade tonight. They had a procedure penalty added to by a too much time penalty. We pulled them way out and missed the PAT, which was essentially a field goal at that time. And then Snohomish came back right away, 87-yard kickoff return by Matter, who just showed us great speed for a big man. Snohomish came back, put Hurt back on top of Cascade by going for the 2-point conversion by Bunick, and that's where we stand right now.
Okay, and the statistics should be pretty interesting too. Our statistics kept, as usual, by Carl Nichols. Kurt?
First half, Cascade has held the ball and had the most time offensively with the football. You see that, 7 first downs. However, Snohomish has had those huge, big plays. Cascade, Pugmire's been right on the money tonight. 4 for 9, though, doesn't show us that, but he's had 4 balls that have outright been dropped. Should be 8 for 9. Snohomish 2 for 4, one of those being a long touchdown run. 74 yards passing for Cascade, 102 for Snohomish, 158 yards rushing for Cascade, which is an average night, half out for them. 134 for Snohomish. We were expecting Bunick, and we haven't seen that. It's been well mixed up by the Panthers for a grand total of 236 yards offense, 232 for Cascade. Big gainers so far in the halves. Butler for Cascade, 110 yards rushing on 8 carries, 2 touchdowns. For Snohomish, Bunick has been the big ground gainer, only 9 carries in the first half. Remember, he's averaging 24 a game, but those 9 netted him 86 yards and has really helped Panthers maintain that position of leading the Cascade Bruins. The Bruins essentially have been hurting themselves with penalties and drop passes the first half.
Well, the Bruins will get the ball at the outset of the third quarter as they kicked off to start the ball game. So we'll see what they do with that first possession. We'll take a quick break here and be right back with the third quarter kickoff on TCI's championship game of the week.
Nickelodeon's Big Help Day is coming November 23rd.
Share, fix, visit, care, give, do.
The Big Help Caravan is coming. To pick up your collection of food, clothes, books, toys, school supplies, or whatever you think could help. You've watched the Big Help-a-thon and made your pledge. Now it's time to fulfill your promise. And if you didn't get a chance to watch the Big Help-a-thon, you can still make a difference. Here's where you can go to be a part of the Big Help.
Nickelodeon's The Big Help Day is Saturday, November 23rd. Come meet Larissa Olenek, star of The Secret World of Alex Mack, at these locations.
As we mentioned, the white-clad Cascade Bruins will receive the kickoff. Mertz doing the booting for Snohomish. And we have J.J. Butler back there along with Tim Grant for 1. And also Nick Poulin is back there, number 26. Number 26 for Snohomish is Mertz, the kickoff man. So here we go into the third period. 18-12, Snohomish on top. High down the middle. It's going to be taken by Butler at the 13. Starts the middle, veers to the right, and there he goes into the open. And he's pulled down from the side, clear up at the 50-yard line. The first man to him is Merritt Cox, number 94.
Well, that's why it's scary. Anytime you see the ball in Butler's hands, we're going to see him again. He especially on returns, is very good at taking a look at the whole field. You see him pause it for a second, let the wall formulate, and then he's good at picking his holes. He's great at looking and seeing where the open area is, anticipating the pursuit angles of the players coming at him and crossing back. That time he got a big gain.
Now back to live action, 1st and 10 at the 49 of Snohomish. And the handoff goes to Billy Ward, and Ward breaks through for a nice gain of about 7, maybe as much as 8 yards. Down near the 41.
Well, this second half will be an important one. Remember, Cascade played earlier this week. You may have spent a little more, well, we know they have spent more physical energy and maybe emotional energy this week than Snohomish has. This second half will show how good a shape they're in, coming back off of a game just Tuesday.
Gaffney's the split end to the left. Without a man in motion, there goes Butler. Butler to the right side, 1st down and lots more. Wow, he's inside the 35, almost to the 30, and it was Rand Matter who made the stop.
Again, it's Butler right. They send Ward up the middle, and they bring it to Butler to the right side. Good blocking. You see Bissell out front again. He's always the guy when they run to the right side leading the play. Finally, Matter comes up and is able to make the stop, and not after a big gain.
It's right at the 30-yard line. Right, Butler. Hand off Ward. Ward picking his way through a small hole. Is held up and driven back, but he got a gain of at least 3 on the play.
Cascade Ward, they can count on him. Ward is a good fullback. He makes good decisions with the football. I don't remember him fumbling much at all, if any times, during this season. But it also, with him being just effective with 5-yard runs, that's very effective of closing down, keeping Snohomish honest, making sure they realize that middle game is there to get those outside games.
And there goes Butler. Butler bouncing to the outside. Hang on to him by one arm. He's down inside the 25 and to the 24-yard line for about 3-yard gain. He's going to bring up 3rd down and almost 5 to go.
This is where Cascade had some trouble in the last portion of the first half, getting in scoring position and making some mistakes penalty-wise.
Well, they've gone on 4 downs farther out than this, so they're considered in the 4-down zone now. That's Snell resetting as the tight end. And here's the quick toss to the outside by Butler. Going to use that speed. Goes to the 5. 1st down. He might not quite have reached the 5, but I'm sure he's to the 8 or 7.
We're going to take another look at this. Again, it's the quick pitch to Butler to the outside. Everyone pulling. You see the guard out front leading. That's number 66 Moore. Number 70, Brickman, had a shot at him, but being 6'4" and 240 pounds against a quick guy like Butler is a disadvantage.
Got 1st and goal. And ball carrier moves to the right side. That was Billy Ward. Let's see where they put him down. He's apparently down to about the 2-yard line, maybe even inside that.
Cascade doing what they have to do, coming right out at the beginning of the second half and showing Snohomish that they still are the favorites in this ball game. They can move the ball when they want to. We've seen them before do this.
Touchdown would tie it. And the ball carrier is down inside. Was it Ward? No, it was Trent Holloman with the ball. Number 6, you see him there, Trent Holloman. They can give it to a lot of different running backs, which they have done successfully. Well, that ties the score at 18. And is this going to be another adventure on the extra point, Kurt?
Well, Cascade certainly hopes not. And you know that who's ever in charge of the special teams had a little chat with the folks at halftime. And there's an expectation on that sideline that there's nothing being wrong. But Cascade comes right back and erases all that momentum that Snohomish had going into the halftime with the lead. And it's now back to 0-0 or 18-18. Take your pick.
Patrick, the holder. Oh, they fumbled it. But that's no play anyway. My goodness, did the offense move again? For some reason, they're having a terrible time with their extra points. No, it's offside against the defense.
Well, number 50, Torn Duggar, who's very quick off the ball for Snohomish, was in there a little bit quick. And obviously a little too quick jumping off sides.
Well, this is a case where sometimes they'd want to change up and go for the 2 points. So it's a half of the distance to the goal line penalty. But they're going to stay with the 1-pointer, try to go ahead 19-18. Getting a good look at the snap, the hold. So far, so good. And right down the middle for the extra point. It's, as it's been explained before, a seesaw, a leapfrog type of ball game.
I think they just wanted to get one, Rod. That's their first extra point tonight.
And they know Smoke has been a very effective kicker all season long.
Gives them the lead, a 1-point lead, which could be a 3-point lead if they'd made those extra points. Snohomish now has got to show what they're made of.
And it only takes a field goal for them to go ahead.
And we've seen that kind of battle tonight. Seesaw, them going back and forth. They're just an excellent drive that time by Cascades. You see their kickoff team getting ready to go. They know that they've got quite a job ahead of them. They've got some good returners back there, and Cascade's experienced it once tonight. But Cascade, an excellent drive offensively, no mistakes, blocking well, moving the ball well.
Also notable, they didn't have a single pass play, so there was no chance for a dropped ball. Okay, here goes Smoke, lining up his kick. Land Matter. I just want to say Kurt Matter. Remember Kurt Matter used to play for the Huskies? Yep. Was he oh, they're going to try an onside kick. It's close. Tim Grant was down there. They're all after it. Let's see what the signal is. Snohomish got it. Snohomish got it.
Grant had it in his hands.
Loizo had a shot at it too. It was a well thought out, well executed onside kick attempt, but Snohomish finally came up with it after the scramble.
Great job of getting that ball slowly past the 10-yard mark, way outside where Grant was the only one that had a shot at it initially.
Okay, 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line, and here's the toss, carrying the ball. Not a toss. They went up the middle with Bunick, and he didn't get very much. Probably a yard was it.
No hole opening up for him up there. Coming off the bottom of the pile is Prieto, who we've seen have a great season. Again, mentioning he's only 5'5", 140, but it's got a heart that fills his entire chest. The left tackle there for Snohomish, number 71, Zupan, one of their bigger players, 6'3", 240. Snohomish has pretty good size up there.
Right. Lundvall was also in that last tackle to give credit where credit is due. Here's a handoff to second man. Mertz is in the open, and he's going to score. 20, 10, 5. Wow. Well, as you say, he's the counterpart of J.J. Butler. That's a 55. Let's look at it again. A 58-yard run for the touchdown. Just like that. There's been a lot of long ones tonight.
Just breaking it open.
24-19 at the moment with the conversion attempt coming up.
Breaking it open right up the middle. Right up the middle of the gut. Snohomish did a good job opening it up. Mertz with his speed breaking through.
Well, Mertz is another one of those short kids, kind of stubby at 5'9", 176 pounds, and he does a lot of things, including the extra point kick here. He boots it down the middle. What happened on that? Was it no good? All right.
Well, it looked like it was down the middle from here, Rod. We're going to see the touchdown again. We know for a fact this one was good. Again, we see the trap right up the middle. Mertz just stopping, running back. Ward had a shot at him. Just got his feet stuck in the mud a little bit, it looked like. Not able to counter back. Mertz going too fast. See Butler chasing. You know, if Butler can't catch him, no one can.
I notice Kidwell had a kind of a block in the back there, a push in the back. And I think he was outside the box, but at any rate, nobody saw it. There is that rectangular box, Kurt, where clipping is okay, blocking from the rear. Well, we have the extra point was missed. Sorry for I'm missing the call on that one. 24-19, which means a 6-point touchdown gets the team that's about to receive in the lead. Picked up by Butler again at the 13. He moves to the outside and can't get away from a shoestring tackle put on him at about the 28 or 29. And getting up off the bottom there is number 45 of Snohomish. That's Jesse Podol.
Also in on that stop was Emil. That's 3 tackles he's been involved in on that kickoff game. Cascade has some pressure on him now. Snohomish has said, all right, you scored first. We'll come right back, come at you. We're not going to give up. This has been the dogfight that we thought it would be after that first quarter.
No momentary stoppage of the clock. Holloman is in there at the fullback spot rather than Ward. Butler's still in. Gaffney is the split receiver. And Tim Grant is the other wingback, lining up as the right wingback here. Grant in motion. Handoff. First man through, the fullback Holloman. Nice gain. Got about 7 on the play across the 35 to the 36.
Cascade has shown that they can move the football and they can score. In the first half, they stopped themselves with drop passes and penalties. I anticipate we're not going to see as much passing in this second half, as Terry Ennis is always concerned about the effectiveness of that approach.
There goes Butler, shedding tacklers, got his first down with a gain of about 5. And finally, Chris Soren made the tackle. Soren, by the way, was in on the play before that, so he's active again. Soren is not an especially big kid at 6 feet, 176, but he's an effective player, and he plays both ways on occasion. Okay, 1st and 10 at the 41 of Cascade. They have split men to either side, 2 remaining backs, quick toss to the outside. Butler makes a man miss, goes for a first down across the 50, almost to the 45 of Snohomish. Neither team is able to stop the other tonight.
We're going to take a look at this as Bunick is finally able to bring down Butler, but you see right there, Snohomish has got one guy up the field very quickly to try and shut down that pitch. However, that puts him in a tough position to make that stop. That's Davey Thompson, who they've got flying up the field. A one-on-one tackle with Butler is difficult. Once he gets by him, though, it's got to be all pursuit.
Line of scrimmage is the 47th. Grant in motion. And they barely get the handoff to the fullback, Holloman, and he's got a very short gain. Perhaps none at all.
Well, that's that penetration we talked about with Torrin Duggar. That time he was able to get right up the field. When you've got that trap going inside, you've got some guards that are pulling and one guard blocking down. If Torrin Duggar can get into the backfield, he can actually hit the pulling guard and maybe get a hand on that quarterback and mess up the play, which is what he was doing right there and very effectively.
No gain, so it's 2nd and 10. There goes the fullback up the middle again. This time it's a first down. Carry Billy Ward back in instead of Holloman at the fullback spot, carried for about 11, and they move the sticks. Both offenses are going great tonight.
Cascade, as we saw statistically in the first half, had the ball the most time, had the most first downs, moving the chains type of drives. Again, showing that ability here in this drive as well as the first drive of the half.
Here's the first down play. Pitch to the outside, one man blocking, and the ball carrier, that was Butler. About 4 yards perhaps.
Again, Davey Thompson outside. They flip-flop strong and weak. Snomish's defense. They have a strong safety, weak safety, strong backer, weak backer. And they flip-flop those skilled positions defensively. That time we saw Davey Thompson on the other side. You can see the strategy on that quick toss, coming up the field, taking on those blockers deep in the backfield, trying to hold up that play. Doing a good job back there.
2nd and 6 at the 32. Well, here's the first pass. There's a man out there off the fingertips. Well, you can't fault him for that miscatch. It was Gaffney. The ball was just a couple of inches too long for him to really make the catch.
Gaffney, a very dependable receiver as well. Actually, Pugmire doing a good job of getting it out and leading him as there was pretty tight coverage. Gaffney laying out, not able to pull it in.
Well, we come back to the 32-yard line. Here it's going to be 3rd down and 6 yards to go. And Butler carries. Butler struggling in the arms of tacklers, and I think he got the first down at the 25. Bunick finally making the decisive hit. He's just so slippery, the little guy.
Well, the good thing that he does well is he's got good vision, as I've said before, able to pick the seams, watch the pursuit, and anticipate. That time again, Snohomish coming up the field on the outside, forcing Butler back to the inside into the pursuit. He's just as slippery in there as you say, Rod, but Munich that time coming in, able to make the stop.
1st and 10 at the 25. Pugmire, double reverse, carrying the ball is Grant, and nowhere. Down for a loss by Munich. Right there for the stop.
Now that's like your regular scissors play. However, the quarterback actually gives the ball up to the first back, who hands off to the second back. That's Grant coming in. Munich, as soon as that action started, just shot the seam right up the middle to get involved in that play himself, able to pull down Grant in the backfield.
2nd and 11. That's Gaffney nearest you in the split end position.
45!
Pugmire drops the ball, comes back, throws for the end zone, overshoots everybody. That was meant for Loizo, who was well covered by Kraus.
Just a little missed time on that exchange. That's another thing that you don't anticipate when you're planning offensively by this time of the season. That has got to be an automatic, that quarterback and center exchange. If you watch a practice, those guys, every single practice, quarterbacks and centers are out there 15 minutes early because of the importance of that transfer, practicing every single day on that. And they get very used to it. And it's not usual to see a drop this late in the season.
3rd and 11. Here's a quick toss to the outside, and it's going to be nowhere. There's a fumble. If it's a live ball, it is, and Snohomish recovers. Butler couldn't hold it. Davey Thompson made he forced the fumble. I think it may have been Raber who came up with it.
Well, we see Davey Thompson on the outside, up the field again, playing past Bissell, that lead blocker. Bissell ran past Thompson. He tackles the ball as well as Butler, and then a few Snohomish Panthers are around it, fighting for the ball, and I think it is Raber who returns it.
All right, 1st and 10, Snohomish at the 31, and Munich carries in a straight-ahead fullback dive for not more than 2 yards.
Well, you could say, again, Cascade stopped themselves. However, that was a great defensive play by Thompson pulling that ball out, but Cascade has found it very difficult at times once they get to the 20 to get some points on the board.
3 minutes, 19 seconds to go, and the clock still moving. This is 3rd quarter, 24-19. Snohomish leads by not very comfortable 5 points. Kraus wants to pass, and he's hit. And there's a drop ball by Cascade. Should have been an intercept by Mario Anderson, number 25. The ball was to him rather than the intended receiver, and he couldn't hold it. So the ball comes back to the line of scrimmage, 3rd down, and a long 8 to go.
The intended receiver, Rod, was Matter, who was running a sideline route. Mario Anderson had the best shot at the ball. It was underthrown, and as you say, another drop.
3rd down, and they get mixed up in the backfield, and it's going to be a loss for whoever wound up with that ball. Mertz it was, and all kinds of white-shirted Cascade Bruins rallied to the point of attack there.
Snohomish experiencing a little difficulty on their own on this drive in the backfield. That time they were running into one another.
Okay, here we go with the 4th down punt. Mertz is the punter. Butler is the single return man. Down the middle, nice kick. Butler calls fair catch at the 31-yard line. We'll take a quick break here and be right back with the Cascade play on PCI's Game of the Week. Down play at the 37-yard line of Cascade. Pugmire handing off to Butler, got away from one tackler, goes to the outside, there goes the speed. And he's still going across the 50, 45, and down a little bit inside the 45.
Number 21, as we'll see on the replay, Rand Matter was trying to make the stop. You see him there laying on the field. Take a look, Butler On the outside, the nose guard trying to make the stop. Bissell down the field. Here comes Matter trying to make the stop. Swipes at the ball. Lands on his arm, and then finally downfield. That's number 45. Podol finally making the stop. They're still looking after Matter.
That was an 18-yard run, and this is an official's timeout because of the injury to Matter. Well, that would be a serious loss for the Snohomish because he's a two-way player and he's scored 2 long touchdowns. But look at him. He's getting up. He's holding one arm.
Looks like he fell on that shoulder. Yeah.
Well, sometimes that's a shoulder separation, too, when they kind of hold the forearm like that. And I wouldn't want to wish that on anybody. But you can see something is messed up in the shoulder.
Well, he's moving it around. And
yeah.
It's definitely a game he doesn't want to miss. So far in this quarter, Cascade has dominated again with possessions, having 17 plays, 18 now, and only 6 for Snohomish.
You see number 44, Billy Ward, is back in at fullback. He has alternated with Holloman. This is 1st and 10 at the Snohomish 45. Snell resets as the tight end left side. Ward hit in the backfield, does not get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, that time Snohomish did a good job shutting down the middle. They've got to figure out one way to shut down Butler, however, on the outside. Butler only 17 carries this ball game yet. He's pushing close to 200 yards, 187 yards so far this evening. Ward counters that with some good runs up the middle. That time Snohomish able to stuff him.
Well, here's the 2nd and 11 play at the 46. Pugmire handing off. There goes Butler. Hanging on to him, pulling him down after a 7 or 8 yard gain was Duggar.
That's the nose guard getting clear out there in pursuit. And we saw how far Butler was able to drag him. Duggar, not a small guy, 6'4", 230.
I'm wondering, Carl, have you got any quick update on Butler's yardage? We'll get that in a minute. Meantime, we're under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. We've got 3rd down, about 4 yards to go for Cascade here. And Pugmire wants to throw, and he throws too long for the intended receiver, Tim Grant. Well, his passes were right on the money in the first half, not quite so much in this half. And that's going to bring up a 4th down and that troublesome 4 yards to go.
Yet you still see what an important part of the offense that is for Cascade. They've settled into that all year, and maybe in years past they wouldn't even attempt to pass in that situation, but Pugmire does have a good arm. They've had some success.
Now look at this. They're not going to punt. They're clear out at the 38-yard line with 4th down and 4, and they're going to try for it on 4th down. The strength goes to the right side. And here's a quick toss to the outside. Butler is going to make the 1st down and more inside the 30. They ran off a quick count, made a quick toss sweep, and Butler got out there and made his 1st down.
Well, you see Grant at the top of your screen there. He makes the big play here. The block on the outside you see right there on the man, number 42, Emil, who's charged with getting up the field to stop Butler. Grant is out there quickly in his face, drive blocking, and helps Butler get that 1st down.
It's at the 29-yard line. They got a new lease on life. Billy Ward into the secondary, struggles in the arms of tackler, got him around the ankle, flag goes. Butler now has 196 yards unofficially. This is Carl Nichols on 20 carries. Well, that's almost 10 yards a carry. Well, apparently this one's coming back. Let's see the signal. Holding against the offense. Oh, those penalties.
That's the telltale sign. They're right there at the point of attack. Seeing that yellow flag come out. Sometimes those officials are so good with that flag, and it's always embarrassing as an offensive line. They'll throw it and hit you right in the head with one of those things. You know you've been caught. But Cascade again stopping themselves or coming up short when they get close to that 20-yard line.
It's 1st down, 17 to go. And we've got the end of the 3rd quarter. The clock was started again, and it shows all zeros. I'm going to wait a minute. See, he may say that they've got time to run one more play. There's referee Carter. Well, they're going to evidently run this play. And it goes for about 4 or 5 yards. And a straight ahead dive play. That'll be the last play of the third quarter. And there you see the score. The Snohomish Panthers taking advantage of long runs. Lead 24-19 with 1 quarter to go. Quick break here. Back to the all-important fourth period in a moment on TCI's Game of the Week.
TCI Cable asks, what can you get for under $1 these days? The morning paper or...
This is headline news.
on the play. Snohomish from their own 42. play. Second down and 6. Quarterback Dan First and goal at the 4-yard line. Darren Budick. Dan Kraus scoring from 1 yard. The kick by Jeremy Mertz out of the hold of Kraus. 3 seconds, capped off by the 1-yard run by Dan Kraus. Cooper up the middle, gain of 2 yards. 35. Yards on the play. First and 10 at the Wildcats 38. At the Wildcats 29. Third down and 14 for the Panthers at the Wildcats 30.
They know what he's doing. He's going to stay home. For the Wildcats. At quarterback for the Wildcats, number 15, Ken Sullivan. Confusion. What's going on?
Second down and 17. The ball's at the 19.
Don't run that play. Oh, man.
Pins and Cats from their own 25. yards. Homecoming game. Snohomish.
Good deal. Quarterback, what are you doing? Flying out loud. That's not too much time.
We have a flag on the field. Delay a game against... For the Wildcats from their own 38-yard line. The pass by James Taylor is... intended for Christensen, incomplete. Boone and Mike Brady. Anderson was named to the All-Northwest League team, while Brady was offered a football scholarship to the University of Washington. 1971 seniors on the team included Don Railsback, Greg Davis, Ken Hammernick, Dave Garrison, Jeff Anderson, Mike Felix, Steve Chambers, and Jim Waller. The punt by James Taylor. For no gain. Second down and 10 for the Panthers from their own 40.